What is going on, guys? In today's video, we are going to be reacting to the 20 most overrated Call of Duty maps of all time. Now, I've been playing Call of Duty since I played starting at World at War, but owned my first game at MW2. And I've played a lot, and trust me, my takes for good maps might be wild. So, let's see what these takes are. These are going to be the top 20 overrated maps of all time. Without any further ado, let's hop right into it.
Experience the
Alright,
game
let's
and
see it.
make memories with friends. Over the 21 years Call of Duty's been making maps, we've had some great ones, but also really bad ones. As a community, we love to rank them, especially me, but we aren't always correct on how good each map is. So today, I'm going to show you the top 20 overrated maps in Call of Duty of all time. And it was difficult to choose because there are over 500 maps. But I managed to pick out the ones that get too much love or not enough hate. And we're going to start off with Stakeout from Black Ops 6. This is the ultimate brain rot map that got a 24/7 playlist. People thought it was a good strike map, which already makes it worse. You can't get kill streaks on it, which makes it not Call of Duty. The reason people viewed Stakeout as good instead of mediocre is because unlike other strike maps, it actually had 3 lanes and somewhat of a flow to it. The only problem was one side had people camping on head glitches, watching the only long line of sight on it, while the other side had people camping behind the beds or laying prone on the railing, watching from one balcony to the other.
Yeah, that's
finally,
facts.
The middle lane just had people camping in the rooms to spawn trap, and the only thing it provided was brain rot and camos with no fun. Then a point I want to make
That's pretty much the only reason I played is camos.
Doesn't necessarily mean it is horrible. All it means is that a map can be good, but is viewed as an all-time great, or it could be a map that's viewed as average and is horrible, which perfectly goes into 19th, Ramaza from MW 2019, when there's only not.
I don't know. This might be my, one of my underrated maps.
Launch maps, and you have to compete with Euphrates Bridge, Grozny Raid, Azir Cave, Piccadilly, Arklov Peak.
I guess, yeah. I know where he's going with that.
Tend to get a little overrated for not being the worst map in all of existence. Personally, I always despised Ramaza, even though people kept trying to say it was solid. First off, it has one of the worst spawn traps in Call of Duty history, with a team being stuck on low ground with only a couple exits that are easily visible from power spots. Then one side of the map has the most annoying 4-story building under construction where people can camp the whole game to go 9-4. Then if you don't want to be spawn trapping or be the team getting spawn trapped, you also have the option of a 2-story market building to camp that has a view to the side of the area people usually sit on top of to do the spawn trap. On Call of Duty maps, it has a 3.2 star rating out of 5, which is a joke. Put Ramaza in any other Call of Duty and it's automatically competing for the worst map in the game, but because it's an MW 2019,
I don't know.
People give it a pass is decent.
Let me know what you guys think about that one.
It's better than this next one. Siege from Ghosts. If you watch my videos, you know why this is here.
I don't like this map.
You might not even remember this
I
map.
like this take.
So, for those of you new here, I am the leader and founder of spreading Siege hate across the COD community to make sure the developers never create another map like this.
To be fair, I think Call of Duty Ghosts has a lot of great maps that people think aren't good. But I'm gonna agree with them on that. Siege is not good.
Because people think Stonehaven and Chasm are worse, while Siege is forgone and given a pass when it is the worst map in Call of Duty history. Hey, I have a question for you guys.
Worst in Call of Duty history.
How many standoffs can fit into Siege? I'll give you a few seconds to think about it. And Standoff is the great map from BO2, if you need to jog your memory. Alright, let's count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4... and some change with a little extra space hanging on the side. And it was made for 6v6 in a game with one of the fastest time to kills in COD history. You probably don't remember 75% of this map even after seeing it again. Just making videos of Siege being the worst isn't enough. I leave comments on other creators' videos spreading the word on Siege being the worst. I will have the community together and remembering and realizing Siege is the worst map of all time. I hate Siege! Hey, now that we've calmed down a little bit, if you're enjoying the video, please hit the like button so I know if you want me to keep making more of these videos. Oh, and did I mention Siege sucks? 17th, Crossfire from COD 4. Put
Crossfire.
down your pitchforks.
Now, I didn't
Crossfire
play
is not a bad
COD
map.
4 a
It
whole
just
lot,
isn't
so
good.
I don't
Like I said at the beginning,
know this
being
off the top of my
overrated
head.
doesn't make something bad. I think nostalgia and it being the first COD multiplayer with a huge player base help people elevate
Okay.
it in their minds. It has a
I can't rate this map. COD 4 was literally the only game I didn't play. So
4.7 out of 5 rating on Call of Duty maps.
4.7.
And Crossfire is simply not one of the best maps of all time. It has an odd Z-shaped layout with a bunch of buildings that aren't directly
Bro's just
connected,
vibing on the
and
car.
a lot of them don't have great lines of sight, which is not necessarily a bad thing because it makes for a more balanced map without any true overpowered positions. You can play with a sniper, AR, or SMG easily on it, all positives, which is why I think it's still above average. But it has its faults with a bit of a spawn trap issue, having unnecessary giant spawns on the end of it, and being camper friendly. Crossfire shouldn't
That's
be
fair.
viewed as great. It should be viewed as above average.
I can't really
16,
speak on that.
Yard from MW3.
Ooh.
I love the aesthetic of this one, looking like Borderlands, which is a franchise I really like. It also is smaller and fast-paced, which always gives the map a better chance to be well received if it has even a decent layout. Which
I
is a
think I
perfect
might agree with
description
him on
of
this.
Yard. It feels like it should play better than it does.
It's just-
with multiple ways to
it's
go
just
in and out of
okay.
lanes, decent spawns, and a fast pace, but somehow the flow of it just feels a little bit off. I think
Yeah.
Yard's aesthetic helps boost its sentiment in the community, but it's
I agree with
truly
them on
only
this.
an alright map that you don't hate to play, but you aren't hoping to see pop up in the rotation.
That's
And I'm currently
honestly a
running
great way
Call
of
Duty
saying it.
community tournament for the top 20 mastery camos of all time, so if you want to see all the polls and make your voice heard, please subscribe, and thank you for all your support. 15th, Breenberg Hotel from MW 2022. I don't understand
I think I
why
agree with
people
this
like
too.
this map outside of a competitive hardpoint match. It's just average or slightly below average outside of that. And you
I
can't
think
even
I might
point
agree
to
with
all
that.
the other maps in MW 2022 being horrible. Farm 18 is clearly better. Mercado Los Alamos and La Costa the best map in the game that should 100% be remade and brought back into a better Call of Duty game.
I don't know
And
about all
maybe
those
this is a
takes,
hot
but
take, Valderas Museum is better than it too. MW 2022's problem was not
That's
the maps,
crazy.
which is why Breenberg Hotel being rated 4
But
out of 5 stars
the
on
hotel
Call of Duty
map,
maps makes no sense. It
I
has
think it's
countless
average.
Issues such as air kill streaks being horrible on it, spawn
Yeah.
trapping, and encouraging camping. It should have a 3-star rating at max and is saved by competitive hardpoint being excellent on it. 14th, WMD from Black
this
Ops
is
4.
facts.
An amazing
This is facts. I hate this map. Everyone loves it. I think this map is average at best. Average at best, because this is
large
horrible.
snowy map. You might be asking,
I
Ascent,
hate it.
why are you calling it overrated then? Because I know how highly you guys view it because of my community tournaments where you voted it the best snow map in Call of Duty history and a top 10 map
Really?
overall. And I disagree
Top
with both
10?
of those. I'm going to compare it to other Black Ops 1 maps
That's
where I view
insane.
them similar in quality to it, like Jungle, which is another fantastic map, and that one wasn't even voted in the top 30 maps by you. Then Grid is also similar in quality, and people don't ever bring it up, and Call of Duty has never remade it. They definitely should. And the point I'm trying to make is I don't have any complaints about WMD itself, because
I
it's
do.
one of the best large maps in COD history. I simply think it gets touted a little too highly, being voted a top 10 map of all time.
That is crazy.
13th, Outskirts from World at War. I do not like this map and think it's pretty bad. This
Is
is
this-
illustrated very well with its remake in Black Ops 3,
Oh, wait.
Rupture, being the most hated map in that game. Could that be because of the mechs you could take
It's
control
probably
of?
the
Maybe,
mechs.
but they weren't much different than the tanks you had in the original. Could it be because of the giant tower in the
I don't
middle
know.
people camped in? Probably not, considering people camped in the church tower in World at War. Is it because the
I
map
feel like-
is giant with a poor layout and flow? That's probably a big factor.
So I did play this map a good amount. Um, I know I remember playing it on BO3 because I remember seeing the mechs. This had to be like late in the BO3's life cycle. Let me know what you guys think of this. I don't really all I remember is the tower. That's all I remember about the
And
map.
on
So
Call of Duty maps, it has a 3.8 rating on World at War, but it only has a 2.3 rating out of
3.8.
5 stars on Black Ops 3. And I don't think the advanced movement is the reason for the 30% reduction on
I do
its
feel like
rating.
it
just
looks
simply
better on
was
World at
never
War.
good and is bad, but no one remembers it being in
Like
Black
having a
Ops
lot of
3
open
with the
space
aesthetic makeover and name
and
change. So people
Like, it
just
just
hear outskirts and
looks
look back
and
with
feels
nostalgia. But
better
I know,
just
and
looking
now
at
you
this.
know, everyone would hate this map on any new Call of Duty because it's subpar. 12th, Arsenal from Black Ops 4. The competitive community.
This is also a game I didn't really play. Call of Duty Modern Warfare, like the first one, and Black Ops 4, because unfortunately this was the Fortnite era.
And BO4 community really like Arsenal, but I've never understood why.
I don't
It
think I
was
actually
decent,
bought
but
Black
the
Ops
vent
4.
campers and the torque specialist on it were so annoying. It's also one of the most boring looking maps ever, which isn't the most
Damn.
important part of a map, but it does weigh into it a bit. When they tried to spice it up, they made Arsenal Sandstorm, which is in fact one of the worst maps ever. Don't worry, I'm not holding that against it, which is why I still think it works well as a competitive map, but for general pubs, it's only decent, not good, which is why it made it onto this list. 11th, Afghan from MW2. I don't know why.
I mean, this guy's speaking facts. I can't really complain with any of these takes so far. I agree.
But every
I
time
do
I
not like
mention a
Afghan.
Golden Age map in this video, I'm ready for tomatoes to be thrown at me in the comments. Don't worry, I have a few more after this, so save a few to throw. Back to Afghan. It's a solid map that can be fun to play with the right game modes and lobbies. But it isn't perfect and shouldn't be considered top tier. But
Definitely
somehow
not.
it has a 5 out of 5 star rating on Call of
This
Duty
is a
maps, which is
5 out of
blasphemy.
5?
Its main problem was being
Yeah,
unbalanced
no
and advantage
way.
to the team spawning on high ground that also had the cave. All the power positions were on one side of the map. Unless you want to consider that small room that people would camp in with the small window. That was kind of a baby power position. But it was still fun, and the crash plane in the middle allowed for fun combat and cool plays off the cliff. It worked well for longer range weapons and shotguns in the cave, making it overall an above average experience, but not a great map like people try
Not
to
an
rate it.
above average
10th,
experience.
Crown Raceway from MW 2022. This is Greenberg Hotel, but even worse with the overrating. This is a subpar map that people say is good because it has a cool setup and racetrack infield.
I think it's alright.
And while it has a 3-lane design we all enjoy,
Let's see
as
what
COD fans,
people rank it
is done
as, because
horribly,
I just think
or
this is
just
alright.
plays horribly in MW 2022. On the racetrack side, players would just lay prone.
I won't lie. There's definitely a few, probably like 50 to 100 kills of me doing this exact same thing he's doing right here, because those God forbidden long shots in this game to get mastery camo.
Camping and waiting for an unfortunate soul to run by. On the other side lane, you would have people laying prone or head glitching doing the same thing, but you had the added benefit of having a building for people to camp behind the counter in. Then in the middle lane, you had 6 ways to enter a building that was a mess. I almost never enjoyed playing on it, but it would get voted for almost all the time when it might have been the 3rd worst launch map. Don't quote me on that.
3rd worst launch map.
But
I think
definitely
it's.
a bottom
I think
tier
this is
launch map
decent.
from MW 2022. That's why I cracked the top 10 of this list. 9th, Moscow from Black Ops Cold War. It's a pretty good map, but not a top 30 Call of Duty map of all time
Top
like you guys voted for in my
30.
community tournament, which is a big reason why I put it on the list.
People think it's
Even
top
Treyarch
30.
didn't think it was that good, because after they made it, they updated the map in Season 2 of the game to slightly alter the layout. Obviously, it was a successful change because it's one of the best maps from Cold War, which overall had a good selection. It's a very well-designed map that works well for
I don't know.
competitive, but comparing it to top-tier maps, it's clearly inferior.
I think
Moscow
it's
better than Hangar from World at War?
pretty good.
No. Is it better than Havana from Black Ops 1?
But
No.
top
Is it better
30,
than Hunted from Black Ops 3?
I'd have to
No,
rank
and
every
none
map,
of those
but
maps made it into the top 30 for the community ranking, so it's very clearly overrated. If you want to support the channel, become a channel member down below. Your support makes this all possible.
I think this is
Express
fairly
for
ranked.
Black Ops 2. The tomatoes are back.
You guys are gonna hate me. Never an Express lover.
But hear me out. The design of this map is very unique with almost a U shape, where as you go towards the interior of the train station, it becomes more and more compact, helping to have different playstyles based on which side of the map you're on. This made it stand out by not being a cookie cutter Call of Duty map, even though it was still pretty much 3 lanes. The only problem is that nostalgia elevated it too much in the eyes of the community. It's a pretty good B tier map, but it's nowhere near the level of great maps like Raid,
I only agree with this guy.
and the reason I mentioned those
This is a solid B tier map. It's not
of them on Call of Duty maps with
it's not
4.5
good.
stars. It has no
It's not
business
great,
being
I
in
should
that
say.
range.
It's good, but
7th, Skyline from Black Ops 6. The second map from this game on the list, but it's overrated far more. It was in the beta and almost immediately everyone loved it, but not me. People thought it was the best map we had seen in a while. However, there are plenty of original maps from the previous 2 games that were better, such as 6 Star and Stash House from MW3 and La Casa from MW2. I could name more, but the reason Skyline was viewed so highly has more to do with the other Black Ops 6 maps being not so good. I thought it didn't have enough cover in the middle of the map, which made it play a little bit worse. However, I will say that it did work as a pub stomping map and was more enjoyable than most of the other Black Ops 6 maps. And all I'm trying to say is it wasn't bad, but Skyline was held in too high of a regard. 6.
I can maybe agree with him on that still. I thought he was going to hate on it like the other ones. I kind of agree with that. I think it's definitely one of the better maps from BO6. Yeah, I guess I like in my overall COD maps, I'd probably rank it A. So if he's thinking like everyone thinks it's an S, I can understand that.
Dome from World at War. I think this is another one where nostalgia helps elevate people's view of it. For being a small map, it has an insanely unbalanced layout. Usually they have a fairly identical layout such as Nuketown or Hijacked, but on Dome there's a severe elevation change where one team spawns that gives them a significant advantage. And while it is fun to play from time to time, because of the fast-paced action, it is not a great small map, which people noticed when it was remade in Vanguard, giving it a 2.8 rating instead of its original 4.2 rating on Call of Duty maps. The drastic rating change might partially be affected by it being in Vanguard and the faster movement, but it's also because of players abusing the unbalanced nature of Dome itself. It was needed in World at War for a change of pace from the other maps, but it is remembered too fondly. 5th, Shoot House from MW 2019. You guys remember how bad the launch maps were in this game, with 7 out of 9 of them being some of the worst of all time. Well, Shoot House got added to MW 2019.
I want to know what he says about this.
So it felt like a breath of fresh air and a stark contrast to what we had been playing. It made it feel like a god tier map in comparison, but in reality, it was just pretty good, not an all-time great map like you guys think. In the community tournament, you voted
I don't know.
top 25 map of all time. And I don't think I need to say this, but I'm going to. It is nowhere near that level.
I think it might be on the brink of top 25. This one I have to slightly disagree with. I do think it might not be like the cream of the crop, like top 5, but top 25, I see it being top 25.
That would be saying it's in the top 5% of Call of Duty maps ever. It has zero case for that. I would argue that it is the slowest paced small map of all time, and it promoted camping. You had the long line of sight down the middle of the map with the 2 head glitch points to mount your gun on either side of the map. Then you had the building in the middle everyone loved to camp in. The more I think about it, the more overrated I think it is. Maybe I should have ranked it higher. 4th, Slums from Black Ops 2. They just can't stop remaking it. They've done it 6 times. I understand when they keep bringing back the small maps for 24/7 playlists that the new generation can't play without for camo grinding. But Slums coming back the same amount of times as Raid and Standoff makes no sense. And don't get me wrong, Slums is a good map that I really like. It has one of the most recognizable loading screens, plays well in TDM and objective game modes, but is it better than Favela from MW2? Maybe. Is it better than Plaza from Black Ops 2 as well? I don't know. Is it better than Hunted from BO3? Not sure. And I brought up these maps because it is rated between all of them on Call of Duty maps, but in the community tournament,
I think that's
Slums
a
was voted
fair
as the
ranking.
top 20 map of all time, while none of those cracked the top 30. I still love Slums, but people rate it a bit too highly.
I think it's like properly rated.
Game. Third, Hackney Yard from MW 2019. A Call of Duty dev made an interesting comment on new
Hackney
maps
Yard.
versus remastered maps a couple years ago. He
Oh,
said, it almost takes some time to get used to something new. Then suddenly 2 years later, they're like, oh man, Hackney Yard was a great map. But during launch of it, you're like, that was a piece of crap. This goes to show you how much these developers know the Call of Duty community. Hackney Yard and Gunrunner were the only two launch maps people said were good. But yet
I
this
was
guy,
gonna say, I think
Jeff,
this
is
is
saying, it
a
took
good
you
map.
guys 2 years to appreciate the greatness of Hackney Yard. Please be more aware in your work than this Jeff guy is. And while this map was smaller and better put
Damn.
together by almost being
Poor Jeff.
3 lanes and having an actual flow to it, it still wasn't great. It was okay. The warehouse had only a couple entrances, making it heavily camped in because it's easy to hold down. Then the other building right across from it was camped in a lot as well, but was better put together because it had entry points on the first and second story with vantage points to shoot into it easily, unlike the warehouse. And that helps save Hackney Yard from being bad.
I think that's a pretty good map. I don't know what I'd rank it, but I might disagree with them on this one. I think it is still really good.
However, it still gets overrated due to its competition. And I have to give Jeff a little bit of credit before moving on because he said, you build those memories with your friends and eventually you have these rose-tinted glasses of these maps. And he's 100%
That is
right
true.
with that because
That
it's
is
true
true.
with most of these overrated maps, including Shipment from COD 4. It's fun to play.
This is a hard map to rank depending on the type of play style and game modes and things you do. Shipment, as a whole, I don't think it's that great of a map, but I've grinded Shipment and like it. But that's also because I've done so much camo grinding where Shipment is like the method to do it. So I'm kind of in the middle. Let me know what you guys think of Shipment.
Every now and again, but is it a well-designed map? No. Is it really even a map with a design? Probably not. It's just a square with some shipment containers. I mean,
Yeah.
Infinity Ward didn't even view it as a real map because they accidentally left it in the game. It was originally designed as a small internal playtest map for developers, but it instantly became a beloved map. As it should have been, because whenever it came up, you could just turn your brain off and get tons of action, whether that was kills or deaths. While it was fun, it objectively is not a great map because it had
Objectively,
no design. It
yeah,
can't
I could see
properly
that.
support good spawns, or most objective game modes, or even free-for-all. I will always love it in COD 4 and COD World War II, but in MW 2019 and onward, it just doesn't hold the test of time with the faster movement and even worse spawns somehow. Before I get to number 1, I have to give you guys a few honorable mentions. And
Let's
I
see his
asked you
honorable
guys on a video
mentions.
to comment the most overrated map, and the two most common maps you said were Nuketown and Terminal. I think Nuketown was due to the map fatigue rather than it being overrated, because I
could
think
see
it is
that.
one of the best designed small maps in Call of Duty history. Then people said Terminal due to it being unbalanced based off of which side you spawn on, but I disagree with both takes, which is why they aren't on my list. And for my honorable mention, I picked Verdansk. Yes, the Warzone map. Wasn't sure if I should include it for a multiplayer map video, but I think Verdansk is one of the worst designed BR maps for Call of Duty, and my guy Jeff's one good point stands with Verdansk. When you build memories with your friends, you'll have these rose-tinted glasses of some maps. And I gotta ask, do you guys have any guesses for number 1? I think some of you know what it is. And the most overrated Call of Duty map of all time is Rust from Modern Warfare 2. It is the greatest one.
Is this the most overrated map? Let's see his points.
Map of all time.
I don't know.
I have countless memories of playing private matches with my friends quick-scoping only. There was just one problem. It was never good for 6v6. Infinity Ward wanted to repeat their success with Shipment by making another small square-shaped map. Obviously, Rust was a big success, but it kept a big problem from Shipment with horrendous spawns and created a couple other issues. Its design was a good idea with using verticality in a limited space to create a bigger dynamic in gameplay, but it wasn't executed as well as it could have been. Just like Shipment, you guys voted it as a top 25 COD map of all time, but I think Shipment did a better job of being the small, chaotic, fast-paced
Really?
map, which is why I put Rust as the most overrated map of all time, because it didn't fit into its role as well. I still love it for all the memories it created in private matches where it truly stood out, but its design didn't work as well in public matches. And are there any maps you think I should have put on the list, or do you agree? If you don't care about my opinion and want...
Well, I do think Rust is a really good map. I think it would be slightly overrated. I see it being in the top 20, like 15 to 20, but I don't know about number one. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. What is the most overrated map in your opinion? These were actually some good takes. I would say I agree with about 85 to 90% of his takes, honestly. So, yeah, let me know what you guys thought of the video. Let me know what your most overrated map is, and then maybe I will rank the most overrated maps. But if you did enjoy it, give it a like, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.